Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Payson. Welcome back to everyone who is already a subscriber to the YouTube channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now, a professional MMA fighter fighting out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, hometown Jim Stout, Pittsburgh, by the name of Anthony the Hound Dog Hogeback. Anthony, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you back on the show. Always has been. I've been interviewing you since you were an amateur fighter. You're now a pro fighter, and we've got you on the show to do an interview for a fight you have coming up for 247 Fighting Championships on January 20, January 31st for 247 Fighting Championships 247 MMA at the venue 4. They've changed it from Brawl in the Berg to be their names related to them having the Sunny Day arena at the venue. So it's great stuff. So we'll just jump into it. What have you been doing since your last fight? How are things going? Your pro record, I'm sure you're looking to get a win and get leveled up in your pro record. You're currently 1-2. You've had some good fights. Not all of them have gone your way. What are your thoughts about fighting Josh Armstrong this Saturday? 2 Saturdays from now?
Yeah, man, I'm real excited. As I'm sure you know, I've been scheduled a couple times to fight, and over the past couple months, I was supposed to be on the first MMA at the venue card,
Mm,
and then it didn't work out, so we got rescheduled to September, and then you probably know the ins and outs of that. That didn't work out. So we just been kind of looking since that's happened, and we've had a couple people on the hook, and then as I'm sure you know, stuff doesn't work out
mhm.
sometimes. So I honestly wasn't really expecting to fight until maybe March or so.
Okay.
And then one night after a decent session of video games, I woke up one Saturday morning and Mike Wilkins was like, "Yo, they found you something. Like, we should do this." And I was like, "Sounds good. I'll start getting the weight off and start getting after it. Like I got to fight." So that's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing that. I do know because you got pretty close to fighting a couple of those times, one for 247, of course. But I think that's a good reminder. Now, you're a pro fighter, but it's a good reminder for fighters to know that just when you think you're not going to get matched, like you were taking it easy playing video games, is when a match comes through. And I think obviously you and Mike Wilkins being the legendary coach at Stout Pittsburgh, sometimes you end up taking a fight maybe not exactly when you wanted it, but clearly I know you've been wanting to fight. And what do you think, without giving secrets away, like what do you think this current layoff, because it's not really been a layoff so much, you've been training, but the time without fighting, what do you think that's been doing for your MMA game?
Well, it's been nice because even though I haven't been able to step in the cage, I've been, thinking in my head like I'm about to fight in a couple months or I'm about to fight in a couple weeks. So I have been in the gym, working on things and getting ready for fights. It's just I haven't been able to actually get in the
Mm,
cage and compete. So I have been training hard. I have been working, and even though I was, not expecting to fight, I am a professional. So and I work at the gym.
yeah.
Full time. So I'm always here and training. So it's not like I was just sitting around getting heavy and not training. So I was ready to take something. I just didn't know it was going to be this soon.
Yeah. Well, that's all a great mindset to have. The fact that your full-time job is to train in and teach. What type of teaching and training do you do on the professional side? When it's not for yourself, what are you doing for Stout Pittsburgh?
I teach about 5 classes here a week, all at the Bridgeville location. And
Okay.
I do a couple privates during the week as well. And those are mostly kids classes. I will fill in for some adult classes that need someone's out one day one day, or someone's got personal stuff to do, and I'll go teach the striking classes or the jiu-jitsu classes if I need to. But for the most part it is kids classes, and that's something that I really, really enjoy.
Well, that's great. This is the Great Dane. This is Raven. I know you love Great Dane.
uh,
There she is. Thank you
I
for
also
saying
love that
hi to
name
me.
because I'm from Baltimore, so I'm a big Raven guy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's not why she's named Raven. I think she's named Raven because she's black like a raven, but sure, if you want to think Ravens, although as a Steelers fan, we can't really say much because the Ravens and the Steelers both had relatively disappointing years, and
Yeah.
so I'm not going to trash talk and but yeah,
Well, fun fact, I was at that. I was in section 519 watching Tyler the Loop's kick sail right.
oh,
So
did you
yeah,
lose your mind?
I lost.
Oh,
I didn't even know what to do, man. I was just so sad. I was at like not the greatest angle to
right, so you
watch the,
couldn't tell.
yeah, but I just saw Tyler Loop's body kind of deflate and then
Yeah.
the crowd erupt. I was like, oh, we just lost.
And you're like, it's a 44-yard field goal. Now, granted, like that's why you do the field goal. But yeah,
Yeah.
I looked at it as a Steelers fan. Of course, I was pumped. But at the same time, it's like that's like you basically didn't win and you got in. Like
Yeah.
it didn't quite, yeah, it didn't really set them up to do well in the postseason. And now you've got the situation with the Broncos where I mean, maybe they have a shot with a backup quarterback against the Patriots, but it almost seems like that side of the Super Bowl has been decided. It just seems
Yeah.
like, well, at this point, it'll be a great story, whatever their Tittleman or whatever their
I think his name's Jared Stidman, or I don't even know his
Stidman.
first name, but I know his last name's Stidman or
Hey, we
Stidman or
wish you
something
the
like that.
best, Stidman. Whoever you are, we
Yeah.
wish you the best. You're in a bad spot. We hope you get out there and look great.
Yeah. Nothing to
Um,
lose, man. Go let it fly.
yeah, do it. But anyhow, so um, oh, that's cool. And I asked this question because, I'm a coach, not of the like what you're doing, MMA, but I coach track now for Waynesburg University. Woo, the woo,
Yeah.
as we like to call it, WU, the woo. But what have you been learning about the sport of coaching? Because I know people might not think of it, but coaching, particularly in your case, kids, you have to be creative in how you coach. You have to be consistent. You have to really know your stuff. But there's an aspect of coaching that becomes its own sport. Just like Mike Wilkins is an incredible corner, he was a great fighter, but he's had to adapt as he coaches. He's a skilled coach. So what do you like about learning to be a coach as you work for Stout?
Well, specifically with kids, because I find it a little different with kids and adults. Like
Mhm.
I can kind of explain something more in a blanket way to adults because most of them are they can comprehend everything I'm saying. But kids are different. They all got different personalities and they all are different kind of levels in life and how they're
Mhm.
developing. So you kind of got to like tailor how you're saying something to who you're talking to. So and it makes you kind of break down things in like ways that you might not have thought.
Yeah,
And ultimately that just helps you kind of also think about like the sport. So just for example, like jujitsu, to break something down super simple, like could help me in my brain, because I'm like, you know what, I should maybe even think that way. Or, when I teach kids striking, I'm breaking down something super simple and like maybe something's off with their footwork or like their timing of their strikes or something like that. So it's been super helpful for my development. And, even if it wasn't doing anything for my development, I do like and enjoy watching kids get better and gain confidence and, being able to take what they learn in here and not just apply it to the skills they're learning, but to, their everyday life and they can go to school and be better, communicators and better, nicer to people and stuff like that. So that's just something I really enjoy.
yeah. Well, I think that's a great mindset to have from the coaching perspective. And I think coaching kids, like you said, you have to explain it different ways. And that allows you to not only be better at explaining things, but also it does correlate to kind of maybe a way that you haven't been looking at whatever you're experiencing. And I think it's also great, they always say, and it's true, that you don't really fully know something until you can teach it to somebody else. So even if it's just repetitive, teaching a kid, plus they're going to ask the same question 100 times. So I think that's all wonderful stuff. Now let's talk about the fight coming up. Josh Armstrong, pro fighter. You obviously took the fight. What are your thoughts, prediction wise? What are your thoughts on what you're looking out of yourself come January 31st inside the 247 cage?
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. And, me, I don't do predictions. I go in there and I take the fight for what it is. And, um, I go compete to the best of my abilities and, the outcome is the outcome. And,
Mm.
that's something I've kind of learned over the last couple, months, not competing and kind of just like ruminating in, the last fight I had. And it's like, I had this kind of thing in my head where I'm like, I need to do this because like my record needs to be this. And at the end of the day, even if I was 2-1 right now, like my life wouldn't be that much different
Yeah.
at all. I would still be coming to the gym and teaching classes and hanging out with my friends and going home to my fiance with my dog, and like nothing really changes. So um I think realizing that and not trying to make the moment too big in my head and stuff like that is something I've really learned to deal with. As I've had fights kind of approach and think I was about to fight, that's something I was really working on. So I'm just real excited to go out and compete in front of my friends and family in the gym, that I consider family, and just put on a show and genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the process of you as a pro fighter is kind of finding what works for you, not just inside the cage, but also between your ears, right? Like what you tell yourself, what you believe, because you're right. Like, and because when your performance becomes the only way you view yourself, that's where all types of mental health issues pop up, right? Like you have to be able to do your best and you train really hard. And of course, you want a career and you're doing great things, but your value as a person does not go up or down based on your performance. Of course, your career does, and some of those things come, but like you're right, there's no difference in your life between 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 because of your fiance, things that are more valuable to your life. And so obviously I know you're dedicated. I've talked to you since you were an amateur, and obviously you're dedicated. You moved up from Virginia, Baltimore area.
Yeah, like
Um,
that DMV area, like
yeah,
Frederick, Maryland.
yeah, there. I was wrong. I said Virginia, Frederick, Maryland, and you moved up to Pittsburgh, which is fantastic, and you're obviously dedicated to that. I can't wait to see what happens. I know Josh Armstrong as a pro is obviously still fighting, probably with the same mindset. Um, as far as trying to get his pro career off the ground, it'll be a great fight to see which one of you kind of starts the pro career going. Like you're still very early in your career, he's still early in his, and it's always wonderful to see kind of what you're able to correct. Now, because I've known Mike Wilkins since he was 18 years old, and he's now not 18 anymore. What do you think about him as far as like not only your coach and your corner, because we've talked about that before, but also I would imagine a boss, but also a friend and a mentor. Like, what are your thoughts on him as you pursue like working with him and also training and all those things related? I love Mike Wilkins. So what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, man. I mean, he's obviously my head coach, and I,
Yeah.
I see him multiple times a week, and I'm always trying to pick his head and pick his brain to see what he's thinking, and ask him little details and stuff like that. I just like that he's involved in what I'm doing, and it makes me confident that he cares what I'm doing, and is going to always give me that good advice, the hard truth and stuff like that. So. Um, and he is my boss, and he is all those things. So I love being around him, and I love learning from him. And I couldn't ask for a better coach. And same goes to Coach Randy Viriel. You'll probably be seeing more of him
Okay.
because he just got up here recently, but he's got 25 pro fights under his belt, and Coach Mike has you know I don't even know what he's got, like you know more than 15 fights under his
Yeah.
belt. And Coach Will's just so smart and knowledgeable in the striking department, and I just couldn't ask for a better set of coaches and training partners for that matter. I'm always working with Lucas and Britt
Mm.
and Luke Martin and Tim Bailey, and just all the best training partners that I can be around all the time. We got a new amateur on the card as well, Javi. He'll be making his debut. Look out for him. I'm always training with him too. So I'm always testing myself in here. I'm always trying to get the best looks and put myself around the best competitors that I can, because that's just what you got to do. But I couldn't ask for a better set of support around me and training partners and coaches for sure.
Well, that is wonderful. Great wrap up. Great way to bring the interview to a close. But also, I look forward to meeting Coach Randy. I don't think I've met him before, and kind of getting connected to a new face within Stout Pittsburgh, but clearly somebody who's had a whole MMA career on his own before getting to Stout. So can't wait to meet him. And I occasionally interview coaches because I think, that's very exciting as well. So maybe I'll have him on in the future. But this all goes down inside the Sunny Days Arena on January 31st for 247 Fighting Championships. I always say buy tickets to either directly from the fighter. Don't get scammed. Either directly from their fighter, their gym, or 247fighting.com. If you don't live close and you're going to watch it on pay-per-view, then download the 247 Live app on any smart device and give the Hound Dog, Anthony Hogeback, credit. That way he gets credit for you either watching in person or hi there, or on pay-per-view. So thanks so much for chatting with me. 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks away. Can't wait to see you live in the cage, January 31st. Thanks so much.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're the man. Thank you.